Since I first began speaking publicly, professionally, on radio, or name it, I've always said that you have to be listen carefully, a behaviorist. Explain to me the psychology, the inner goings on, the emotional mechanics of what people are thinking regarding a particular subject, and that will give you the answer to where this particular issue is going. If people don't respond to something, like, for example, the Paris riots here in this country, they don't get it. If they don't understand the international conflagration and the impact of the World Economic Forum and Schwab and the reset, if they don't see it, if they don't understand something, you can talk about it all day long. It doesn't matter. If people don't understand the fact that geoengineering is now for the first time emerging into the mainstream media discussion room, if they don't understand it or don't care or don't react to it, it doesn't matter. So how people respond to something is critical. You understand that? Critical. I had a friend of mine years ago who had such terrible diabetes, such neuropathy, such numbness in his extremities. He stepped literally on a fire, like a campfire, and didn't know it, and almost lost a foot because of the damage. If you can't experience or feel or note pain, pleasure, awareness, if you're not sentient, the world doesn't exist to you. That's why people don't understand Donald Trump. They let their own particular hatred, their own particular enmity, this Trump derangement syndrome. And by the way, as I've said before, TDS works the other way around, where they imagine him to be greater than he is when he's not. But we're talking about the negative TDS. They don't understand this. They think that somehow he's crushed, he's succumbed, he's fallen, he's unable to move under the weight of these investigations and potential indictments. It's the opposite. He's not human. He doesn't act like people do. He doesn't run away. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. I want to talk about this. And I want you to also help me, and I want you have to do this. Subscribe to the channel. It's critical. Like this video. It's critical. Hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And also, we have a wonderful sponsor, especially right now as we look at the 4th of July. And by the way, how many countries have a 4th of July? All of them. But I digress. MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com/Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Look at the 4th of July specials now. And you have to see daily. You have to go to the site daily. They change constantly. MyPillow.com. We're a MyPillow family. You will too. Support them. They support us. Look at the 4th of July specials. Look. And the specials every day. All right. They're wonderful people. We support them. We love what they do. Please go and buy everything. I know it's expensive. I know. But think about it. You'll be helping us. And after all, isn't that what matters? You betcha. Now, I was looking, of course, at Twitter. And between all of the complaints from people not understanding why Mr. Musk is doing this, because they have this, there's this limit to retweets or views or whatever it is. It's based pretty much on this notion of scraping, which we'll talk about later on. But we're talking about this. If you go to OAN or any of the others and the people who follow him, the folks who are showing up, this never ending, the MAGA rally in Pickens, South Carolina, celebrating Independence Day, these people show up forever. They love him. I'm thinking to myself, do people know this? Do they understand how the pockets and packets and quanta of voters, how they love this man? Do they understand what this means? I don't think they I don't think so. One of the things which was so interesting about Bernie Sanders was that his supporters, the young people then who were absolutely, they couldn't believe when they were just hit with the treachery of Hillary Clinton. They couldn't believe what happened, but they loved Bernie Sanders. And when I saw that, that told me something. I said, you know what? There's something to this. There is something to this. And there is something about this momentum and this movement that you cannot dismiss. You've got to pay attention to it. You have to understand what's happening. And that is the Trump method. Now, if you want me to explain it, I have no idea. I can give you an answer, which is a post hoc rationalization of what I'm seeing, but that doesn't explain anything. It's easy, for example, why do you think Citizen Kane was? Well, it's the first time it showed ceilings. No, you're repeating what other people say, and also what you're doing is you're kind of sort of forcing an answer. It's like when you see people on TV and they do interview shows and they say, well, why was this scene? Well, and they have to come up with an answer, even though the answer has nothing to do with reality. That's what I find fascinating. That is what I find fascinating beyond anything that anybody has seen. Okay? Now, let me explain something to you. For whatever reason, and we can argue all day long, Donald Trump does a couple of things. First, he hits the fan viscerally, the acolyte, the minion, the follower, the apostle. He hits them viscerally. He makes them feel that they're a part of something, kind of like an inner, a group of people, a class, a secret society, a group of folks who are committed to this. Much like, and I say this with all due respect, like a religion, the faithful, the believers, the members of the clerisy. You can call it MAGA, you can call it whatever you want. Number two, there's the group part of it. Laban and others have talked about the mechanism of the crowd, ochlocracy, mob rule, but it's not that. It's how we view ourselves, not necessarily just as individuals, but as individuals who are a part of a group, part of a collective, part of a group, part of a movement. And one of the reasons why people have always believed in, and this is absolutely critical to every religion, again, not out of disrespect, but out of comparison. Every faith always mandates that you must meet with your brethren, with your followers, with your fellow travelers and warriors and your concomitant believers, because you feed off of each other. Yes, you enjoy your faith individually, but it's part of the collective, the society of the movement. That's what these are. People remind each other. They say, we're not crazy. No, we are going to win. Yes. And especially now, as the world seems to be absolutely cataclysmic, and I think we all understand why, as the world seems to be cataclysmically disastrous, this brings people together and makes people feel that maybe there is hope. Maybe there is something. Maybe there's a chance. These people are profoundly patriotic, and that's something that the left and the anti-MAGA contingent don't understand. There is a devout and an absolute sense of love of their country, and if you don't understand this, woe unto you. You know who's also interesting in this new thing is Bobby Kennedy, who is bringing with him his magnetic field. Could be the Democratic woke Death Star. He could be the contagion and the virus himself, ironic, that destroys that. So as this frisson and contamination lunacy goes forward, we look to Trump and we see specifically, look at all that is happening regarding him. It's fascinating. So I'm just going to say this again. It's a very, very, very simple And I quote, of course, from Nietzsche, and I repeat, anybody who misses this point is doomed. What does not destroy Trump makes him stronger. It emboldens him. It makes him feel like the warrior prince, the combatant, the soldier in the fight for him, his family, the country, whatever you want to do it. The best thing in the world to do with him is to ignore him. Let his fire just go out naturally. He is never going to end up in a prison. It's not going to happen. And there comes a point when the freneticism, because these people don't know when to stop, when the freneticism of this fixated lunacy, when it has a negative effect, and the blowback can be devastating. Thank you, dear friends. Please, I ask you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell doohickey to be notified of live streams and new videos. So don't forget our great sponsor, especially now as the fourth, as people say, is impending, mypillow.com. Use promo code Lionel and get a free gift. And now I ask you to comment through your brilliance as you see fit.